I want to come to you on this. I want to look at the NFC as a whole. Who do you think's the best quarterback in that conference?
For me, it's Dak Prescott. You're looking at a guy who was top 2 when it comes to touchdowns, QBR, quarterback rating, completion percentage, but then 3rd in passing yards. Also, you look at the athleticism, right? And I think last year we started to see a little bit more of that a year removed from that injury of being able to extend plays with his legs, find CeeDee Lamb for explosive plays, be able to be an extension of the run game as well, which I think now I'm still concerned about that because they didn't address that need when they brought it back Ezekiel Elliott, but I think he's more so of the 3rd down, short yardage, be more better in the tight red zone type of running back. But Dak Prescott can extend plays and he can improvise if a play breaks down.
You think Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in not the NFC East, in the NFC?
In the NFC, I do.
Really? And really, from what you've seen,
are
we talking regular season or are we talking playoffs? So the playoffs count in this conversation?
I'm just talking period. I think Dak Prescott's number 1.
In the playoffs?
Period.
Really? Okay.
In the NFC.
Bart, help me out.
I love you like to play coach, but I'm telling you, Matthew Stafford, don't correct yourself.
Who do you have
Matthew Stafford. I have Matthew Stafford, and then maybe,
What about Jared Goff?
Well, Jared Goff, and then you go to maybe Love, right? We have to see Love because we don't have a big sample size. Now, he's an older quarterback, and he showed us that he can handle the pressure by going in. They should have beat San Francisco, but right now I got Matthew Stafford and I got Jared Goff because the most important stat for a quarterback isn't his stats and not his wins and losses. What he does when that other guy on the other sideline is a dude. And every time Dak Prescott faces a guy that has a dude on the other side, that dude has his best day. Now, we remember every time we go to the playoffs, even last year, do you remember the look on Dak Prescott's face? You remember the look on CeeDee Lamb's face? They were shook. How are you coming up strong?
They were deer headlights.
Right, deer headlights. So that's why I think Jerry Jones is tough, right? Because it seems like you've been passed by Green Bay. It seems like you've been passed by San Francisco, and it seems like you've been passed by the Detroit Lions. So
but I think Jerry and Stephen Jones plays a part in that, right? Now,
no.
This team
didn't they beat the Rams?
They won 12 games.
I understand that, but they've been able to draft well. But I think with adding pieces to the puzzle, I don't think they've done a great job of that when it comes to free agency or whatnot.
Because there's enough talent.
Right,
I know they didn't do anything this offseason, but let's be fair.
2 great corners.
You don't think there's enough talent on both sides of that ball for this Dallas Cowboys team to really make a run?
Right now?
You can't.
Hell no.
Yeah. Whoa. This is arguably one of the most talented rosters. You talk about Bland coming back. You talk about Diggs. They got 2 of the best corners. They got 2 of the best 2 of the best pass rushers in the game, and Lawrence and Robinson. They got
I give you Michael Parsons there.
Do they got arguably the best guard in football?
True.
Right? Do they have a great tight end?
But they also miss it.
Do they have the second best wide receiver?
Are you factoring what they just lost on their offensive line?
But they still have Brandon Cooks.
Wilson!
Right? He's a great number 2. They have CeeDee Lamb.
Here's the thing, though, Bart. In today's NFL, you can't win an NFL championship being one-dimensional.
Okay, so why
you also can't win without a quarterback, which I've got Dak too. I'm with Harry on this.
Yeah.
What we saw from him last year, he became a better downfield pass.
Yes.
Remember the year that he led the NFL in interceptions with 15? What did he do last year? Second in touchdown to interception ratio. He became a better quarterback at a time where now it all lines up for him to be paid by the Dallas Cowboys. And what we know among all these quarterbacks who have been paid, you don't have to be the best quarterback to get the biggest bag. He's still going to be a $60 million quarterback
but is it going to be in a Dallas Cowboys
said and done.
I don't think
Why would they want to have quarterback utility? They lived through 2001 to 2005 between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo. They don't want to do that again.
But look, where did they find Tony Romo? In the 4th round.
Hold on.
Oh, you think it's
that just happens for everybody.
I got him.
Tony Romo was undrafted, by the way.
Game on the line. All right? We're talking mental toughness as well. You're putting all your money on. See, I got him.
That's not the question. It didn't say Super Bowl game on the line. In the NFC.
Are you putting? Yeah, best quarter. What are we?
We clearly think an AFC team,
might not get to the Super Bowl.
Okay, I'm talking about the NFC quarterbacks. Game on the line. It's the Super Bowl.
Where does that?
Well, that's a different question.
What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's had a good week. We are here at Jobu's Red Brick House and things, and we got Young Wilson back in the house. Shout out to Young Wilson. Appreciate the super chat. We'll be doing another drawing tonight. We'll be doing another T-shirt. And then next week or on Monday, we'll be doing I think I have a Randy White print that I'll be doing for you guys. And so I appreciate the support as we come down the home stretch here. We are getting closer, and I mean closer, to the end of what seems to be, I don't want to say it's been long, but it's been long, but it's also been quick, but it's been painful. It has just been worse than usual. Little Dallas Cowboy who says we should get Dak Prescott to waive his no trade clause. Why would Dak do that? I'm just gonna. I'll be honest with you. Okay, if you let's say little Cowboys. Let's say this was you. Okay, that you had the option. You had the option of going someplace else. Now, you could make it easier for your significant other, right? By saying, you know what? I'll let you keep the sofa and the car and the house and everything else, right? Because that's kind of what Dak Prescott waiving his no clause. So now when he goes to his new house, they're going to lose draft picks. If I'm going to leave and go someplace else, I'm going to be a little bit jolted, okay? And I want to make sure that the place that I go to has everything that I need, or I don't want to take anything that I might need at the new place and leave it for the other one. You understand what I'm saying? And it's kind of like what Derek Carr did. The Raiders said, you know what, Derek Carr, you know what, we care about you so much, you get to pick the team that we trade you to. Go ahead, look at them, find the one that you want to go to. And he did. He found the New Orleans Saints and said, you know what, I really like this place. But if I go through and let them trade, that's helping them. Why should I do anything to help them? Let me take my money and let me go to New Orleans and not hurt them when I get there, because I'm going to need that other stuff. I'm going to need extra picks. You know, maybe I need some offensive linemen or some weapons and things. So if I'm Dak, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. If I'm going to leave, I'm going to leave of my own volition, and I'm going to pick where the hell I want to go. Sure Made. What's up, Sure Made? Appreciate the super chat. Now, you got me all off of my game here, because we got Miss Hot Sauce in the house, Lola, and I have to pull that up. We got Joanne Gonzalez. What's up, JoJo? We got Roland's Review. What's up, Roland? Let's see, who else did I miss? Let's see. Stacy, Roland, Lola. Let's see, Curtis in the house. And, of course, for Miss Lola. I don't know why this system will just not hold it in here like the other one does. I'm burning for you. I need to see if Gina Diva Dallas Diva is going to be at training camp. Saw her there 2 years ago, and that was really, really cool seeing her and her significant other. So here's the thing we got talking about, okay? I get accused a lot of being just a Dak Prescott fan. Oh, you know, and I will say I am a fan of Dak Prescott. I think he's actually a really good quarterback. That's my personal opinion. I know that not everybody agrees with me, and that's okay. Eastside Herald, you see the big dog right here, okay? But that's my personal opinion. I think that that's the best option that we have, at least right now. You know, I hear, of course, them saying that, you know, they got Tony Romo undrafted and Dak in the 4th round, and I'm sure that the Cowboys can just find somebody else, you know, that easily. But I'm just sitting here thinking in my mind that it wasn't anything that Jerry or Steven or anybody else did that was great. It was pure damn luck. It was Sean Payton who found Tony Romo and wanted to keep him around. And it was basically the Cowboys couldn't get what they wanted. And it was basically Dak was the last guy standing there. They were literally playing basketball, and it's like, okay, I got him. Okay, no, I got him. No, I got him. I got him. And they started getting down there. It's like, oh, damn, who's okay? The guy with the glasses, the nerd. That's all. Shit. Come on, dude, I got you. Because remember, they wanted Paxton Lynch. They tried to trade up for Paxton Lynch because they thought that was the guy to bring in that could actually challenge Tony Romo. And then they looked and said, well, let's try and get Connor Cook. But Connor Cook got picked too soon. And they were literally down there. Will McClay's like, take Dak Prescott. We actually think there's a lot of upside with them. And they didn't think that Dak Prescott was going to be the heir apparent to Tony Romo. They thought he was going to be a camp body. Remember, he started 4th on the depth chart behind Jamil Showers, a guy they made into a cornerback before he got released. So we're hearing that Shakur Sanders, now this is where it gets to be interesting, that Shakur Sanders has a list of 6 teams. It was out on Twitter today, okay? And this is where you got to be careful. Skip Bayless. I forgot all about Skip Bayless. I'll be honest with you. His numbers have been so low that I don't know that he's going to have a show for much longer. But he has a podcast, and I swear, not that I'm not going to try and say that I'm doing anything special or I'm any good or anything. And I don't have the name or the reputation, or the look that Skip Bayless has. But I have to be honest, when I listen to Skip Bayless's podcast, it's very dry. It's really dry. It's like that dry lake bed that's out in the middle of the Mojave Desert out there. It's just like parched. He truly needs somebody else to feed off of. But here's his thoughts on Shakur Sanders, that the Cowboys need to make a run for him. Now, let's listen to him.
Jerry Jones stole Trey Lance.
He stole him.
For a mere 4th-round pick.
Stole the man.
And there he sits behind Dak Prescott. I still love him.
Oh, do you?
If only he can stay healthy. He's got
Trey
a
Lance.
chance to be, who knows, maybe a Super Bowl quarterback. I would give him a chance just on raw tangibles and intangibles.
Raw tangibles.
Being a little better than Dak Prescott, the 4th-round pick. So they traded a 4th for a player who could replace a 4th-round pick.
Okay. Can he replace him?
But obviously, Jerry might have bigger plans. He might be hoping as we speak that the Cowboys can be just bad enough to get within striking distance, trading range of Shakur Sanders, who could go 1 or 2 or 3. I would take him 1.
Of course you would, Skip.
Is it possible they could pull that off? And if they pull that off, would Dion then leave Colorado to coach his son in Dallas? I'd bet on it. That's a Super Bowl move. That's what my team needs and what my team deserves. It's been 30 years, Jerry. No more Dak. No more pretty good that turns out to be pretty bad when it matters. Plunge, Jerry. Plunge. Hey, sabotage, Jerry.
Day.
Sabotage.
Sabotage the team. Tank the season. Tank the season. Now, here's what I was talking about earlier that we had heard. Okay? This is what was on Twitter. And so you can't believe everything you see on Twitter, okay? NFL Rookie Watch, okay? That's who posted this. Shakur Sanders' top 6 teams he would like to play for in the NFL have been revealed. And you look at this and say, okay, all right, let's see, who's he got? The Atlanta Falcons, well, didn't they draft a quarterback? Okay. Dallas Cowboys, well, they got Dak and Trey Lance. Although both of them are on the last year of their deals, but okay. The Commanders, they just drafted a quarterback. San Francisco, they got Brock Purdy. Wait, Baltimore, they got Lamar Jackson. The Eagles got hurt. Wait a minute. All these teams have quarterbacks. Then you actually go down a little bit further, and this is one of those fact-checking things. Readers added context they thought people might want to know. Shedeur Sanders has publicly refuted these claims. He has never stated a preference and once again denounced any news regarding a team. The error is the fact that the author specified that Shedeur made these claims. That is untrue. You are not the father. So that's a case of somebody put it out there, and it's this is the thing that's actually sad to me is, as much as we have, I love YouTube. I absolutely positively love YouTube, okay? But there is something that's missed with integrity in media, in any media. It used to be you had to check your facts and know what you're talking about, and you wouldn't put out lies. And, you wouldn't necessarily shade stuff, because this is where, for me growing up, ESPN, it was a godsend. Commanders fan, take a walk you talk too much. Okay, well, that's definitely the case. You must be talking about Big Spank Dog. No one needs a quarterback. Dak will be a glorified back. You know what, Big Spank Dog? I can remember after Dak Prescott's rookie year, I remember people saying, he'll be flipping burgers in 2 years. He's a bum. It's just amazing how many people out there have said it. And especially for you and your dumbass team. Do I need to go down the litany of bums that you have? I remember when you guys made the move for Donovan McNabb. You paid him $36 million for 1 year before it was cool to pay anybody that kind of money. Then you spent 3 number ones and a second to draft RG. You actually had a decent one in Kirk Cousins, and probably would have been wise to have paid him and kept him, because you probably would have made the playoffs a few more times. But you franchise tagged him not once but twice and let him walk with no compensation, because you signed Alex Smith, who looked pretty good with Andy Reid, former number 1 draft pick, paid him $73 million after him stinking up almost the whole season and the officials giving you the game against the Cowboys. He has that spiral fracture that takes him out. I think you spent a number 1 on Dwayne Haskins. You literally brought in, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic, whose magic literally ran out with the Commanders in the first game, in the first half. So, son, your team sucks when it comes to quarterbacks. Sucks. It doesn't matter if they're a journeyman. It doesn't matter if they were a number 1 pick. I'm talking number 1 in the draft. It doesn't matter if you traded up for the guy. It doesn't matter if you stayed pat for him. You, my friend, have not had a decent quarterback since Mark Rippon, who had really one good year. So, bro,
remember, I'm the fucking one who calls the shots. And you better pay me the respect that I gave your brother, or we're gonna have a problem. A bad one. Now get the fuck out of here.
What's funny is, Big Spank Dog, Dak Prescott's worst season would be one of the best in the history of the Washington Commanders in the last 35 years, bro. That's a fact. That is a fact, bro. You've never had a quarterback that's thrown for 37 or 36 TDs. Ever. So, go on, boy. Go on. Okay, so we got the fans that say, get anybody. We got Skip Bayless, who says it's time for Trey Lance era, that, a 4th round, traded for a 4th round to replace a 4th round. He's ready to move on. So there you go with that one. For me, I can't tell you what the Cowboys are doing. Although the rumors seem to be to expect a deal right before we open up training camp for CeeDee Lamb. That's the latest rumor that I've heard. Miss Gibson in the house. How are you doing, Miss Gibson? Tay Cowboys in the house. What's up, Tay? Lola, like, if we're going to be trash, then why are you here, right? Yeah, exactly. It's funny. Listening to some of the when I read the comments, it's kind of crazy. It's like, if you really feel that way, then why do you watch? I just don't understand the hate, but that's cool. It's cool as long as you're watching. It's helping me out one way or the other. Our offense versus Green Bay had 32 points, 37 first downs, over 500 yards. But it's Dak. Listen to that, Jerry. It's just Dak. Of course, it's just Dak. And, of course, the running game was great. And, of course, the defense was lights out. And, everything else was perfect if Dak had just played better. Maybe if he had 700 yards, we win the game. Vinny, my man Tony. Alan, I'm good just watching the WNBA and NBA summer leagues. I always say that. Let's see if Rush 5-1 gets to 6-1. Continue to groove Lance and draft if needed. Little Cowboy. I don't know what the little's for. Is it little brain? Is that what it is? I don't know. You do realize that when Cooper Rush was playing, that the defense actually played lights out, and we averaged 21 points a game with the offense. 21 points a game versus 29 when Dak came back. 29. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school math, but 8 more points a game is actually pretty good. And if you continue to just look at the quarterback, you can be a troll and you can be the casual fan. You can be the guy that doesn't really understand the game, that it is a game that is a team sport. As Molly Quorum goes in here and talks about, if the Super Bowl's on the line. If I'm Brock Purdy and I've got Brandon Ayuk, I've got Deebo Samuels, I got Christian McCaffrey, I got George Kittle as weapons, I got a Trent Williams on the offensive line, and I got a really good defense. That's not the same as what the Cowboys put out on the field. You cannot look at Tony Pollard and say, Tony Pollard and Christian McCaffrey, that's the same. You can look and say, yeah, well, you know what? CeeDee Lamb had an incredible season. He did. But the problem for the Cowboys, we have some studs. Make no mistake about it. The Cowboys' problem is kind of like, they have the saying, first world problems. It's like, really? You're complaining about your toilet when other countries don't have indoor plumbing, right? Okay, so I get it. But the Cowboys are fortunate enough to be able to draft a Micah Parsons, to draft a Zach Martin, to draft a Tyler Smith, to draft a Dak Prescott, to draft a DeMarcus Lawrence or a Diggs or a Deron Bland. Guys that you look at and say, we got to hold on to these because you don't see a lot of these guys out of here. You don't see the Eagles, per se, always doing that. That's why they're going out and having to trade for A.J. Brown. You know how many receivers they missed on before they finally got to Devontae Smith? Remember Ragar, who got drafted after CeeDee Lamb? You guys don't remember that? Although they could have had Justin Jefferson, but they kind of screwed the pooch on that one. Right? You don't remember that, right? So we're complaining about actually having good players. Late bloomers, Eastside, can't hold on to everybody because of the salary cap. Well, some of it is you can't hold on to everybody because of salary cap. The other part of it is because of mismanagement. If you don't waste money on Michael Gallup, see, here's the problem. Let me say this. They've made some mistakes on the guys to keep. Okay? understanding that you're spending $8 million this year on Michael Gallup, who's not on your team. Understand you spent $32 million already on Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup, who in the last, well, it'll be 3 years is what we're going to talk about, you got 850 yards. Is that Dak's fault? Is that Dak's fault? Is that CeeDee Lamb's fault that the money's not? No, that was the Cowboys. It was the Cowboys that said, that guy's injured, we'll get a discount, so let's take him and sign him. Same thing with Jalen Smith. Same thing with Zeke Elliott. Oh, man, we got to sign Zeke to a long-term deal. Yeah, those are mistakes. Mike Fisher brought up the point about Ed Jones saying we need a veteran who actually won a Super Bowl. That's what's holding us back. I think he was referring to Charles Haley type player. And that's the other side of the equation. Clement, I appreciate that because that's one of the things that's lost, besides having Jimmy Johnson, was the Cowboys going out and saying, let's go get more talent. Because it wasn't just Charles Haley. Charles Haley was a major move. Charles Haley was a handful. But he was a power shift from San Francisco to the Cowboys. When they needed another cornerback, they went out and they got Deion Sanders. What do we do now when we need a guy like that? You've heard Stephen Jones. Well, because I'm worried about Mozzie and the interior defensive line. Jones's fault, don't handle contracts and salary cap. Thank you very much, because that's exactly the problem with the Dallas Cowboys, is they definitely do not handle the salary cap well. I don't understand, with as big a company as the Dallas Cowboys are, with as much money that's in stake, that you're telling me that you can't afford to pay a guy a couple $100,000 just to manage your cap? A real good accountant? A guy who understands contracts in the NFL? There's a saying, you can be penny wise and pound foolish. And this is a case where the Cowboys are penny wise because, we're not going to overpay the cheerleaders, okay? The cheerleaders, you get $500 a game, and that's it, because you're one of them cowgirls. So there's all kinds of extra benefits there. You get some of our staff that are peeping in you in the locker room and stuff for free. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. That was in bad taste, wasn't it? Okay. Be that as it may, that's the problem. They are sitting here charging the players for lunch, whether they eat there or not. They get charged monthly for eating at the Star. But yet you got Steven and his assistant there that are making contracts that are outrageous, that stink. It's like, that's where you need to put some money to try and control your expenses and overhead. The Joneses think that because you are good at marketing, and that makes you an expert at everything. Coyote, you ain't lying about that. You are not lying about that. Now, there is a little bit of a problem on the horizon for the NFL, and this may be part of the reason why the Cowboys have been a little slow on the contracts. The lawsuit, and it may benefit all of us. I think the NFL has gotten to the point where they're too greedy, where everything's going to streaming now. I'm not mad at them for trying to make money. I'm not mad, but at some point you end up trying and doing too much. Okay, when we got Amazon, when we got Netflix now, Netflix for Christmas. Okay, if you don't have Netflix, you're not watching Christmas games. You got Amazon on Thursday. You got Paramount with playoff games now. You've got, of course, YouTube for the Sunday ticket. And, this is getting to be ridiculous that now I got to have 4 internet streaming networks to watch the games. And they're delayed by about 25 seconds. I'm not mad about the Sunday ticket. I like the Sunday ticket, but the fact that they're gouging people. Now, for me, it's okay that I've got to buy the whole package because I'm watching the Eagles, the Giants, and the Commanders. Okay, so we're live streaming and watching, keeping up with all of them, so we can see Philly 500 melting down. Or it's a Walker Wade in the house. It's a party now. This season's going to be a wash. You know what, Walker? Shout out to you, man. Actually, Walker, I'm going to go the other direction. I am going to actually go in the other direction because you know what happens with the Cowboys? Remember when, I'm trying to remember what year it was. We had the Super Bowl in Dallas. It ended up being Green Bay versus Pittsburgh. But before that season, I guess it was 2009, before, I didn't put you in timeout. No, Big Spank Dog, don't lie on me, bro. Somebody might have put you in timeout. Oh, Mark, put me in timeout. I didn't put you in timeout. Are you asking to be put in timeout? I'd rather make you suffer. Chris May in the house. Shout out. Peanut butter and jelly time. I'm going to actually say the Cowboys, whenever they think that we are going to be good, we suck. Don't ask me why. But I remember that year, they're like, oh, the Dallas Cowboys, they could be the first team to host a Super Bowl that they're playing in. And it was like, what? That was the whole talk, the whole offseason, because we played so well. 2014, they were the no catch away from, being at the NFC Championship game. And, next year they're going to be great. And then Tony Romo gets hurt, after the first 3 games. And we get up 4-12. 2016, Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, man, they're great, went toe for toe with Aaron Rodgers. They thought 2017 is going to be great. And we missed the playoffs. It wasn't a losing season. It was 9-7, but it wasn't a playoff season. So usually it seems like when they think that the Cowboys are going to suck, we actually play better. Mods get heated when I cook them. So, little cowboy, your whole thing is to be an asshole? That's your existence? You live to create mayhem? That's sad, bro. That's really sad. Lola, this fake A-banging idiot. Oh, okay. So you're getting on nerves. Okay. Have to be at work at 3 a.m. See you guys Sunday. Okay, big Spank Dog. Have fun. 3 a.m. on a Saturday. Damn. I'm a winter baby, but I can take it. Come at me, bro. Okay. Oh, God. Curtis, that 2017. Oh, man. That one hurt, bro. That one, oh, my God. The Giants came in and they kicked our ass. That's a freaking wild card. But be that as it may, I guess we can blame that on Dak too, right? So I think the Cowboys are actually going to play a lot better than people think. I think the Cowboys will be a playoff team again. And, if you're asking me my honest opinion, and I'm sure I'll get cooked on it if it doesn't happen, but we know what happens to teams when they go to the Super Bowl, and especially when they lose. I think that San Francisco is going to take a step back. It's just hard to stay up there. I mean, we saw what happened with the Eagles last year, and that's not the first team that it's happened to. The Eagles, Eagles, you can pound your chest all you want. That season you had last year when you sneaked by the Commanders in overtime, 33-31, I think it was, and almost the exact same score in regulation against them. Sorry, the Commanders were not a good team at all. And you barely beat them. And that was every single week. You barely got through them. Yeah, Philadelphia. Yeah, you were in the Super Bowl, 2 seasons ago, but what have you done for me lately? So when the Cowboys are expected to do well, you win more regular season. Yeah, regular season stats. Philadelphia, you are so funny. Oh, my God, you are so funny. I'll ask in this way. Do you think Dallas is done with its roster for the year? Linda, no. You wish, okay. I cannot understand the Joneses mentality. Keanu Gibson, is Lamb really leaving? I don't think so. They'll get him signed probably right at training camp, I think. The Joneses, I'm sorry. Everything is about getting a player as cheap as possible. Rome was doing a video. Shout out to Rome. Yeah, I have James. Actually, I posted a video of it a couple days ago. He's been working out on the beach, and he seems to be moving really, really well. In the sand, I'm actually impressed because, see, with the sand, the way it gives, because here's what happens, because I know with my knee and my ACL, is when you slip, it's that jolt, okay? Now, I don't have an ACL anymore, and I'm like bone on bone now. But for me, it's like it feels like I'm on ice. And I get that jolt, that's when you get that little hiccup in it. And when you're on sand, because it gives so much, that's one of those ones that if I'm just coming off an ACL, I'd be scared to be out there running on sand. But he must have more confidence in it, and it must really be healed up well for him to be able to cut and push on it. Because, see, that's where you get the injuries. That's where a lot of times people will get hurt on the turf because it grabs so hard that you get that little jolt. And that jolt is sometimes just enough to just start the process of that ACL or that MCL to just get enough movement and stress that it just rips. And so being out there on the sand, that actually made me feel a lot better for his opportunity to start the beginning of the season. But back to Linda's question, if the Cowboys are finished doing the roster. We've gone into, I want to say 2 years ago, my man Game Time Brian, and usually when I say Game Time Brian, I'll see him pop up. So we'll see if he actually pops up. I'll say Game Time Brian, Game Time Brian, Game Time Brian, and see if he shows up like Beetlejuice. But him and I were having a discussion all offseason. This is before Brian, blew up and got himself about 29,000 subscribers and stuff. But we kept talking about Anthony Barr because we literally only had, the only player we really had that had any experience was Van Der Esch, and he was coming back from injury at linebacker. And so we kept saying, oh, man, they should sign Anthony Barr. We're going to bring in Anthony Barr. Oh, yeah, Anthony Barr. That would be a good signing. Just like right now they've been saying Lyle Joseph. Yeah, so watch that name. They signed him. I was at training camp. I showed up on the Monday that they had the first padded practice. So camp had already been open a week and a half. And they signed Anthony Barr, who was still recovering from an ACL injury. So the Cowboys are always famous for signing players during training camp. They won't be your big name players or big name players that still have tread on the tires. It'll be your Dontari Pose or your Clinton Ha-Ha Dix type guys from players of past years and things, or your Anthony Barr's guys that haven't been signed yet that for whatever reason. And I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised to see Stephon Gilmore back. I really wouldn't, unless Diggs is really ready to start rocking and rolling early in training camp. Linval Joseph, excuse me. What did I say? Linval Joseph. Defensive lineman, okay? I'm old and I'm getting forgetful and making mistakes and stuff, okay? I'm getting to get a little bit of dementia, so forgive me. Yeah, you know who I was talking about. But that's one of the roster moves, and this is where Stephen Jones, I was talking about Rome, had played a clip of Stephen Jones, and he was talking about Mozzie and the shoulder surgery and stuff like that. And as he put it, because this motivated me to do a video to talk about being a one technique guy. And he's like, that there's some veterans out there that, that you can sign for camp and bring in, because we are really, really thin on the defensive line, interior defensive line, and not necessarily much experience. And that has been one of the biggest problems we've had for a while. The last really great defensive lineman we had, and it was only for a few years, was Jay Ratcliffe, and that was part of that 2007 team. And when we had him, because here's the cause and effect, and this is what Micah Parsons needs. When you had Jay Rat, who was a Pro Bowler, you had DeMarcus Ware have over 20 sacks in a season, because it's key. And I know that it's hard, man. It's hard being the fat guys in the middle. You gets no love. Nobody's out buying your jersey. Okay? Nobody's asking you for your autograph. Nobody wants you on their show talking about football or anything else. But you are the biggest key to the puzzle. You're not going to get the statistics as an interior defensive lineman. You're going to have, 25, 30 tackles, maybe 2 or 3 sacks. So as far as fantasy football goes, nobody cares. Nobody cares. But if you're a linebacker back there, you love that guy. Because that guy is keeping the guards off of you, so you're not getting hit all the time. I sent you something by email. I'll check it out after the show. Appreciate it, James. If you are an edge rusher and you can hold the line to keep the quarterback from stepping up, or like Jalen Hurts running up the middle, you're helping me to get sacks. And for whatever reason, the Cowboys are just kind of like, meh. Well, we could just sign somebody during training camp. And it's like, bro, it's not like that. Chris May in the house. What's up, Chris? Jalen Hurts has 1 NFC championship ring. Dak has 0. I'm going to, they killed off you. How many points did the Giants score against you guys? Was that 7 points? And not that I'm saying that the 49ers weren't good, but didn't they lose their quarterback? Weren't you playing against Jack Johnson? Did you win that game because of Jalen Hurts? Those two playoff wins? I'm just asking, because I looked at it like you were a complete team. I don't think here's the real test. Philadelphia, this is a real question. If you took Jalen Hurts off of that team and inserted somebody else against a depleted 49er team, no quarterback, their quarterback goes out, and a Giants team that scored 7 points, do they lose the game because they got rid of Jalen Hurts and brought somebody else in? That's the real test. Because if you say, well, somebody else could have won that game, then it wasn't because of Jalen Hurts. It's because of the team. Stop this whole Jalen Hurts is the greatest quarterback of all time. Sorry, bro. No, not the case. Derek Young, Dak is better than all regular season wise and has more talent. And, I see how one of your guys was trying to be sneaky and trying to say, well, Jalen Hurts has got more wins since he started, versus Dak Prescott. It's like, yeah, but he also had like 12 more games because Dak had the broken hand. You know what I mean? And you're also counting rushing yards. And it's funny because I remember when we were talking about Dak Prescott versus Carson Wentz, and we counted Dak Prescott's touchdowns, and they said, you can't count the rushing touchdowns. He's not a running back. He's a quarterback. But now you want to count them. Okay, gotcha. All right, so we touched on the prospects that CeeDee Lamb, we're hearing some rumors that there will be some movement the last couple of days of the offseason here to get him whole, possibly to start training camp, which I think is huge. Monty Kiffin, of course, passed away this past week, 2 days ago. And 84 years old. Was only defensive coordinator here for 1 year. He did work in the front office. Literally, they kind of said, you kind of lost it And they let Rod Martinelli run the defense, and they said they kept him working at the office, but I don't know what office I don't. They said he was working, and it's like I don't know where the office was, and I don't think anybody else did. I think it was one of those ones that, because they respected him so much, they didn't want to say you're fired. That we're moving to the front office, and just slowly just let him go. But definitely would be missed. If this season is going to be a success, and I think it will, I honestly do, it's going to be the rookies that carry us through and the draft class. And I'm not just talking about this year's. We need to get production from Mazi. They're putting so much on Mazi, and I'm scared because Mazi is coming back from the shoulder surgery where he has not been able to work out. And if you guys remember, the last contract holdout we had with D-Law, where D-Law literally said, I'm not getting my shoulder worked on until I get a contract with the Cowboys. And they didn't get it done until like April. And so after having the labrum surgery, he couldn't lift weights all off season. He came to training camp and he was actually playing the first game. But the problem is he had no strength in that arm because by the time he had the surgery, you couldn't do anything with it for like 3 months. And it wasn't enough time for him to get the strength back. And it literally killed the season. And this is where the Cowboys, Jerry, Steven, why do you keep sabotaging the team? Mazi Pad is a bust. We can't call one season a bust, bro. Can't do that. He allegedly hurt his shoulder around Thanksgiving and played with the shoulder injury the whole season. So I don't know that you can say that's a bust there, Eastside. Sorry, not going to give you that one. At this rate, we need Justin Rogers to do something, and Nick Foles. Proven experience is good enough to start. Mazi just needs to eat. Well, the only problem with the problem right now is with Mazi having the shoulder surgery, the weight that he's putting back on is not necessarily muscle from being able to work out because he can't use his arm to lift. So that's just kind of like fat weight, and that's not necessarily the best kind of weight that you want. You want to put on some weight that's muscle and strength. D-Law killed this team by doing that. But Glimmerman, I'm not going to put it all on D-Law. That's where, if you're the Joneses, it's on you to get these contracts done and get these guys happy and in camp. That's not, you can't put all that on D-Law. And we see that you have to force the Cowboys' hands for them to do anything. You literally have to not show up. Do you think that if they wanted to pay Zeke Elliott, that they decided, well, you know what, Zeke who, and let him go to Cabo? That's on the Cowboys. They screwed the pooch on that one. Mazi just needs to sit and eat. Shoulder surgery takes a long time. And at the position that he plays, if he's used down as a one technique, you're getting down on your hands and, you're on two hands. And you have got to be able to get your hand into the body, and you've got to be able to have the strength to lock out. You've got to be able to work. Okay, and I know people going, ooh, what's he doing? No. So you have to understand, as a nose tackle, okay, you're almost like a universal, y'all know what a universal joint is, right? Like a UV joint for your car, so it goes every direction. That's what a one technique is. Because you get hit from the guard, the center, the guard, the tight end coming at you, the fullback coming at you. You have to be able to move and wheel your hips and hold that spot. So when you take that first step, that center is trying to hook you, and you have to be able to lock your arm out and fight pressure because that's going to close up the hole. And so that's my big worry right now is Mazi Smith going to be healthy enough to be able to help us? And when you start looking at some of the other guys that we have on the defensive line, I'm not saying that Osa Ndigizua is really good, but that's a guy who's really light on the ass. He's a great pass rusher. He is great with his hands and getting upfield. But if we get into games with 49ers type, running attack that's just going to be bludgeoning you and driving up the middle, it's going to be a problem. It really is. Dwayne Sweeney, Dwight Young, it's a few other quarterbacks I like personally, but I'm looking at the talent they have, whether it's throwing or running the ball better than Dak, than both, even if people think they are not better. Well, I don't think running the football is going to be a great thing that we're going to do this year. This offense, and this is where you wish for more pieces. You can look at a team like, say, New England, and it wasn't necessarily superstar wide receivers. They had a lot of really good pieces, and they would have Tom Brady distributing the ball to multiple people, which makes it harder for the defense to shut you down, because if you're covering CD and you got Brandon Cooks going and catching the football, Brandon Cooks and CD are both covered, then you got Jake Ferguson. And, of course, if you got those guys all covered, then it should be that you can run the football because you're covering those guys that you don't have 8 men to put in the box. But we don't exactly have the running back that's going to be able to really eat and take it to the house that puts the fear of God into you. We will see how Allen will respond without Diggs. Oh, that's going to be interesting. You know what, Eastside? How about you kiss my ass? I don't have my glasses, so I'm like, it's hard to see it. Eastside, you choose to be here. If you don't like the way I read, if you don't like the way I talk, you know what? How about this one, bro? Bam. How about that one, Eastside? Punk ass biatch.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I think they try and take it easy and not try to do too much. I know it's frustrating for him. I just hope he doesn't get hurt again and have a setback. I agree with you on that one. But the problem is just like with Diggs. Diggs is looking at this and saying, I got to get back out there for my team. And a lot of times when you're looking at that, you're getting out there like Michael Gallup did before you're ready to get back. See his fireside chat too, James. Appreciate it. So that's the worry for me, and that's where I say, Stephon Gilmore would not be a bad insurance policy. I thought you should be getting better in your third year, not regressing, right? Who are we talking about regressing in the third year? Coyote. Sugar Daddy. Yeah, Eastside. Have a nice day, Eastside. Now, this was an interesting discussion here that I want to play from Rich Eisen. More likely or not. We're going to listen to this for a second, and then we're going to discuss it a bit. What's more likely?
Never say never, but never.
Okay.
Never.
I do like that drop. I don't know. It makes me laugh. All right. What do you got over there, Christopher?
All right, we got a 5-piece on a Friday. Let's do it. These guys both. How you guys doing? Everybody good?
We're good.
I'm good. What up, man?
Mikey, great to see you, man.
Thank you.
It's been so long.
Thank you.
I missed you.
Congrats to the Celtics.
These guys both won ESPYs last night for NFL awards. Lamar, best play. Mahomes was player of the year. Who's more likely to have more playoff wins this year? Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, my God. Come on, Chris. Let me tell you something. I am not going to do anything.
Jose, you're right. They won't do
direction of
jack.
the Kansas City Chiefs. How am I going to sit here and go, oh, yeah, this is Lamar's year. Mahomes is not going to make the playoffs, or he's going to be difficult for him to do anything. There's not going to be a three-peat. The target on their back is going to be so big, and the chips on their shoulders that they supposedly
We're
have
doing a drawing
are going to be
for
so
another
heavy,
custom
and
shirt.
the burden that they carry is going to just sink the weight of the good ship, Kansas City. I'm not going to do it.
The
I
Raiders
won't
were the
do it.
1 seed last year.
I won't do it.
Mahomes was QB 12 in fantasy.
I know, and who had more playoff wins last year?
You're saying they're going to do something that's never been done before.
I'm not saying they're going to
Russell
three-peat,
Reed.
but I'll have more playoff wins than the
Russell
Baltimore
Reed
Ravens.
is our
If you're
winner.
asking me right here
Russell.
on second Friday of July.
Russell Reed, email me, Cowboys
taking that
Mark
cheese.
90.
By the way, congratulations
Cowboys
to
Mark
Patrick and
94
Brittany
at
announced
Gmail.
expecting their third child.
And almost as worthy of congratulations, Andy Reid cast in a Hallmark movie involving the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hurts can't throw for 400.
You didn't hear about that, have you?
I didn't.
There's a Hallmark movie made out of some fandom about the Kansas City Chiefs, and Andy Reid, it was announced, is cast in it.
Saw Andy Reid last night. He looked fantastic.
Yeah, well, he's getting ready for his Hallmark Channel close-up.
So you're going Mahomes there?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else?
All right, more likely quarterback looking for a new deal to finish his career with a different team.
Tua or Jordan Love?
Ooh, close. Tua or Dak?
This guy. TJ Jefferson. This guy.
Here we go.
I'll go
Who's
Dak.
more likely?
I'll go Dak.
Both should be an option.
I'll go Dak. Mike McDaniel, I don't think is going to go anywhere. I think he's going to be he's going to be that young guy that's going to be there for a long time.
McDaniel hot seat.
I think that is the dumbest thing you might have said.
McDaniel's hot seat.
McDaniel is not even close to a seat that is hot.
It's hot because it's hot in South Florida.
Maybe so. Dak. I'll go Dak.
Okay.
I'll go Dak. $60 million if he doesn't win it this year.
We already identified the spot. Raiders this week. Raiders.
We got some pushback too. A lot of Seahawk fans are saying we'll take him.
Oh,
I saw some of that.
That's a good one.
I saw some of that.
I like that.
I saw some of that. But I think,
So that tells me something, right?
What does it tell you?
All this hatred that Dak always gets. Chris, we were
but
discussing
people
this.
will take him.
But you'll all take him, but he sucks. Someone explain that to me. Someone sucks, and yet you'll take him.
I'd take him in a second.
So make it make sense to me.
By the way,
okay,
if Rodgers doesn't stick around with the Jets or has proven that he is less than the Rodgers that the Jets hope, I think Jet fans would take Dak Prescott in a heartbeat.
I'm just saying.
In a heartbeat, they would take Dak Prescott. Prior to Drake May showing up in your world, you would have taken Dak Prescott.
Without question.
You know what I'm saying?
So then can someone make it make sense?
Prior to Bo Nix showing up in Denver, and if he...
Maybe after Bo Nix.
I don't know. I think he's going to be good.
Isn't that funny? Because also, I know my man Game Time Brian was talking about the Giants being a team that Dak Prescott could be going to. It's amazing how everybody talks about how much Dak Prescott sucks, but how many teams actually want him. That's kind of crazy. So Russell Reed is our winner. Make sure you email me at cowboysmark94@gmail.com so we can get you your shirt. But going down the line here, we are getting close. It's already the weekend. Sunday, we will have our live stream at 5 o'clock Eastern with the channel members coming in. And we basically have a week and a half until training camp opens up. It's crazy as it is. Today is the 12th. It'll be the 13th in a couple hours. And on the 23rd of the month, they're headed for training camp. Ready or not, here they come. I can only hope that the Cowboys get CeeDee Lamb's contract done so that way he's there to begin with training camp, and that maybe they start actually looking and bringing in some extra help on the defensive line. To me, that is going to be our Achilles heel for sure. And I really don't want to see our team being gashed on the ground again. Either way, whether Dak stays or not, he's going to get his money. You are right about that, Jose. Even if it was a good idea, Jerry doesn't have the balls to move on from Dak. I think, well, the problem right now is this whole DirecTV lawsuit. Because the NFL, technically the NFL has lost the lawsuit. It's $4.7 million, but because it's a federal case, for whatever reason, it's supposed to be 3 times the amount, which is $15.1 million. What they're saying for them to appeal it, they have to put a bond up for the $15.1 million. So if they lose the appeal, the courts already have the money to pay out us. That works out to about $450 million for each team, which is about the operating capital for everybody but the Dallas Cowboys. So that puts the kibosh on the NFL teams. And this is where I'm beginning to think that maybe they're getting to be a little too greedy, a little too cocky, and maybe they could have cut the price on DirecTV a little bit. You know what I mean? If you could go through and say, hey, you buy early, we'll give you $100 off. Hey, in another week and a half, if you end up getting Sunday tickets, you get $60 off. If you can afford to put it on sale that much, does it necessarily need to be as high as it is? But then again, what do I know? I am a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll, and I ain't big like the NFL. And with that being said, we going to roll on out of here, good people. And we'll see you at the fireside chat. And you don't have to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here. I'm going to end tonight with my buddy Rashid.
Tell them. Love y'all fans. Y'all good, man. Y'all make good intel them.
Don't get on top of that blue giant fan.
That girl get on top of them.
So I'm on top of the world.
Giant fan is on top.
He's on top of the roof.
We got a better picture now because I'm on top of the world. And he's on top of the roof.
He's on top of the roof.
Grab off and he's going to fly off. He's going to be the ornament.
Oh, no, don't worry. I'm going to get ready to do it.
All the way back home.
That's right. The Giants fans on top of the roof.
Yeah. And you know,
Spam the comments, please.
you know why I'm doing this? To give you guys some pleasure. Because you guys have picked horribly. So you can laugh at me because you guys still suck. Okay.
New York stinking Giants fan just got on the roof of the RV for you guys.
Hey,
for you.
Some happiness in your life. A lot of happiness. Y'all were miserable last night. Y'all pulled out of that stadium. Y'all was with your head hanging down. God damn it, Dylan. You picked your pick again. I'm letting y'all smile. Put a smile.
Wait till week 2. Wait till week 2.
Week 2, yeah.
Put on a happy face, y'all. This is for y'all. Y'all made me an instant celebrity. I want to thank y'all. This is why I did this. Y'all made me instant celebrity.
Week 2, you won't be happy.
Hey, who's gonna block Saquon? We picking him up in the draft, buddy.
It's too low and ain't no cam. That's not enough.
Hey, the Giants fan decided to kill himself.
Hey, we trying to bring world.
Giants fan decided to kill himself.
He up there doing it for the fans. Doing it for the fans.
Do it for the fans. Jump.
Come on.
I hope he's not drunk.
No, he's just doing it for the fans.
Okay. He might drunk.
No, he's just doing it for the fans. Fans want him on the roof. They got it. It's coming down.
I didn't mean that.
He's finally coming down.
No, I didn't mean that. Until next time.
Y'all wanted this. Y'all have it. Any last words for the fans?
I did this for y'all because I'm a nice guy in the long run. At the end of the day, I'm a nice guy. And I want y'all to be happy because this draft will be the worst draft you ever have. At least you have something to remember this draft by. The New York stinking Giants fan was on top of the bus, acting like an antenna. So I get a better picture.